Hello, welcome to the video. Have you ever watched The Karate Kid and thought, I like this a lot, but I wish it was directed by Tommy Wiseau, so it was fucking terrible, and there was some incest mixed in? Well, if that's the case, this film is for you. I'm not joking, by the way, about the incest part. The romantic couple in this film are actually brother and sister in real life, so there's several scenes of them passionately kissing, and you've been warned. This is Kickboxing Academy from 1999. So the first problem with this film actually arises before the film even starts, which is impressive, and that's that on the cover, there's this kid wearing a green headband, and you'd think he's a main character, but after watching the film, he's not even in the movie, he's just there, and the main characters are taking a back seat to him. I don't know what was going through their minds when they came up with this, but, so that really gives an impression of just how fucking awful this film is. So the actual film starts with two characters, Brian and his younger brother Jason, while they drive to a kickboxing lesson. And if you're a bit sharp-eyed, and by that I mean if you have two normal functioning eyes and can indeed see, you'll realise that this opening scene is just a massive, shameless advertisement for the red Ford Galaxy that Brian is driving. And I was confused when I first saw it, until the car stops and we get a fat close-up on the car's logo.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check. And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Other than that, it introduces Sensei June, one of the main protagonists of this film, and her lawyer boyfriend, who's played by the guy who played Manny in Scarface. And that's really all I have to say about this scene. So we cut to a party with the world's most questionable DJ. And it introduces several of the main characters. I think it's about 8. All at once, but it doesn't actually introduce them by name. And since they're at a party surrounded by other people, the side effect of this is I don't have a fucking clue who anyone is. I know now because I did 2 utterly painful viewings of this film, but the first time it's just a shot of a big crowd and you can't discern, oh, is he a main character? Is he a main character? I don't know. However, I know now that it introduces these 3 bullies who are bullies. This blonde girl Cindy, who is blonde, this girl Melinda, who has short brown hair, this nerdy kid, Kyle, his name's not actually Kyle, he's just surrounded by Mountain Dew, so I'm going to call him Kyle, and this kid called Stan, who is fat. And that's it, really. That's all the development they get through this entire film, and I'm pretty sure it's just so they can introduce everyone now, and make zero effort later on with character development. I mean, they try, but it only succeeds in making me more confused. We then abruptly cut to Stan and the nerdy kid walking home.
I don't know why I attend functions like those.
What do you mean functions? Who says functions? Oh yeah, had a proper boozy function over the weekend. Oh, do you want to come round to my house? I'm going to host a sick function. What the fuck is he talking about? And then they get jumped by the 3 guys who are hitting on the girls before.
Hey look guys, just like the Nature Channel. A beached whale!
And I'm not sure why they're even here. There's no scene to establish, how they got from the party to jumping these guys. Although I do find it funny when they push Stan over and he just sort of lies there and accepts death. They're then rescued by this guy who just fucking appears from the beach and starts beating all the other guys up. And we get a fight scene that's just utter garbage. It's just full of nut shots and terrible dubbing. And this scene seems really insignificant, but it introduces this character Danny, who's one half of the incest couple. And apparently he nearly kills someone here, because he doesn't want to fight for the rest of the film. But they're all okay later on.
I know those 2. Yeah, we were gonna kick their butts, but somebody came out of nowhere, nailed me with a roundhouse.
The credits then roll. They reminded me of these, you remember the anti-piracy adverts you'd get when you'd hire a DVD from Blockbuster or something like that. They're just like those. And then we get introduced to the main antagonist of this film, an evil sensei called Tarbek. And he's the owner of the Lethal Combat Dojo, and he is a mentally unstable war veteran who should not be allowed anywhere near children, let alone in charge of them. I mean, the guy has an actual noose pre-tied in his office.
Fatal Combat, Tarbek, yeah?
I mean, just listen to the opening dialogue he has for the children he's teaching.
There's nothing quite like shooting down unarmed men with powerful submachine guns.
I haven't edited that at all. They're the actual opening lines to this film, but it really does set the tone for the absolutely heinous dialogue this film has. So Tarbek sees the fat kid and the nerdy kid going to the good dojo in this movie, which is owned by June, the person from before, the Kickboxing Academy dojo, and he sends two of the people from before to beat them up. Does that seem familiar? Well, it should, because it's the exact same scene we got last time, except now they're saved by June and not Danny.
Consider that a free lesson, boys.
Très magnifique.
Farfignugan.
The dialogue in this film is a really special kind of terrible, in that I found it nearly impossible to figure out if it's meant to be unbearable or if it's just completely inept, like the rest of this film. So we catch up with Brian about to pick up Cindy for a kickboxing lesson, and he gives us an absolute banger of a line, which had me in fits for some reason.
Birds like my girlfriend.
I'm sorry, what?
Birds like my girlfriend.
Who wrote this? Oh my lord. If I was a writer on this film, I'd be having an absolute field day. Some of these lines they come up with are absolutely hysterical, and not for a good reason either. So we find out that Brian and Cindy are having relationship trouble, because apparently Brian is more interested in shagging his Ford Galaxy, and we get introduced to the love interest of the film, Danny, the one who saved the kids from before.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Cindy.
The Lannisters send her regards.
I.e., her actual brother. Why they did this, I'm not really sure. As far as I'm aware, the actress that plays Cindy has one sibling. Him. So finding someone who wasn't a blood relative wouldn't be very hard. Was he the only person with a long 90s haircut they could find? I really question this decision. So Brian just gets decked in training. And we're reintroduced to Kyle, who at the moment is outside the dojo selling knockoff Walkmans called Walk Dudes. And then this happens. And in any normal film, you would think, oh, she's the main character because it zoomed in on her for so long. But no, we never see her again. I don't know why. Literally, she never appears in this film ever again. And then Kyle does this.
Whoa, I gotta calm down, dude.
Okay, despite having 5 minutes of screen time, this guy is pivotal to the story. So the main story is finally established, which is basically the Karate Kid, but a bit different with more people. So the good dojo, the Kickboxing Academy, will fight the bad dojo, the Lethal Combat, so the good dojo can stay open. Because apparently this shady banker man has ownership to the lease on June's dojo and will close it if she doesn't win the tournament. So after this big reveal, instead of going to some training scene or something like that, it cuts to Stan working in a burger joint. Why are we here? I don't know. I'm just utterly confused. And on top of that, watching this guy act, I feel like I'm watching an actual training video.
Buy 10, get one free Miami Subs card, all filled out.
Yep, looks like you get a free Fatty Beef Deluxe.
I mean, he delivers his lines with the emotional range of a sponge, and he fucks up, and the manager has this to say.
Because they're the guys that signed this card for this free hamburger, you fat dip.
So not only is the dialogue absolutely hysterical in this scene, I don't know why they went for a low-angle shot for that one frame when he's calling Stan a fat dip. I don't know. They do it twice in this shot.
If you don't like it, take it up with the regional supervisor. Now get back to work.
And then one of the bullies comes in and starts insulting him.
Get me a double bacon cheese fatty.
You fatty!
Who are you again? And what's your name? Why are you here? I literally don't remember this person at all. So now you'd think, yes, training. This match will decide the fate of the dojo. They must be training. No, actually, we're bowling at the moment for some fucking reason. Melinda works here apparently. She says she has to leave and we never see the bowling alley ever again.
Let's go to my car. I need to get league posters.
They get jumped by the same bullies again. We get a double R shot and some of the worst dialogue so far.
Ow, my ass!
This guy just pulls nunchucks out of his ass. And Danny, who's apparently here as well, I didn't know that, just saves the day. Also, the point of a bully in a movie is a threat that has to be overcome. Yet in this film, they actually proceed to lose every single fight they have. So that's basically going against everything a bully should be. So in this scene, we find out that Tarbak is getting prank calls. Why is this a thing? I don't know, but he acts like it's World War III when he hears it.
Fatal Combat. This is Tarbeck.
Oh, yeah, is Bill there?
Bill who?
Bill your mother for last night.
Now, this happens twice in the film, and it's revealed that it was Kyle all along, and they all laugh. Big funny, big funny. I was utterly baffled, considering, number one, neither of them are remotely funny.
Hi, is Al there?
Al?
Yeah, I'll kick your big old butt if you don't stop crapping on my lawn.
And number two, they're so insignificant I forgot they were there. I think it's because they need to give everyone a role. Everyone has to get their shot in at the villain, even if it's never been established before. Tarback is the real victim in this film. He's obviously just this mentally unstable man that can't handle life, and people just bully him and abuse him the whole film, and at the end he has this insane mental breakdown. Well, you have to wait, because it's just something else. We then run into this guy bullying Jason.
Hey Jason, nice skateboard.
Who the hell is this? I actually had to go back and rewatch it to see if I'd missed something, but no, he just appears. I figured out it's because everyone needs a nemesis for the tournament, even if that means there's no context behind their introduction. But the result of this is there's no weight behind the rivalries, because you just don't care. I have no hate for this bully, because I've only seen him once before. And then the fat kid and the nerdy kid quit the club.
You're quitting.
Yeah, we're quitting.
Again, why should I care? All I know about them is one gets called fat and one gets called nerdy. That's literally all we get. Then the lawyer man and June get attacked by ninjas after their date, because why not?
Hey!
I mean, it's just the bullies again. They're in disguise as ninjas, but now they have actual katanas, nunchucks, and they try to kill them with shurikens. Like, there's so much wrong here. Like, number one, they're in the middle of a busy street doing this, and apparently no one helps or calls the police. Number two, this is actually attempted murder, and just one of the many crimes that could land them decades in jail. Number three, their reaction to the attack is this.
What was that all about?
I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I, pal. Maybe you should call the police. Someone just tried to kill you. And number four, why are there ninjas at all? Don't ninjas learn ninjutsu, not kickboxing? Talking of kickboxing, I'm seeing a surprising lack of kickboxing in a film called Kickboxing Academy. I mean, we've seen a man make burgers, we've seen a bowling alley, we've seen a man getting prank called, a kid getting bullied, some people at a party, and people getting attacked by ninjas, but no training and no sign of any form of kickboxing. What the fuck's going on? So then Cindy finds Danny sleeping in the middle of the beach. Why? I don't know why. I've just stopped trying to figure it out at this point. Long story short, Danny has an alcoholic father who's never mentioned ever again after this scene, and then they kiss. So we get to see that bully chasing Jason again, who's apparently still chasing him, in the slowest bike chase ever. There's a man walking a chicken. I am sorry, this is making no sense whatsoever. This is genuinely the order of the film. Then we find the dojo's being trashed.
We can't be sure who did this.
Are you sure? I have a pretty solid idea as to who did it. It might just be the only three people who have caused you trouble this entire time. Although the fact that the dojo gets ruined is just an excuse for them to go and train on the beach. In a montage which is actually so short, I can show you the whole thing. Yeah, no, that's it. And what's worse is this is the only training they do the whole film. So Stan and the nerdy kid rejoin the group for some reason. It's not like they're going to make any difference. And then there's a scene between Danny and Cindy in a bar where Brian comes in and he's drunk and he's jealous. And he's like, hey bro, that's your sister. Shouldn't be doing that. But then he gets pissed off and leaves. And he goes up to his car and we can see the bullies visibly messing with Brian's car. And we find out what they've done isn't some innocent prank, you know, damaged the car, broken the windows or something like that. No, they've rigged his brakes, so he literally cannot stop, has a serious accident and nearly dies. Like, that's attempted murder. They've assaulted people, tried to kill them with swords, committed break-in and entry, and now they've rigged someone's brakes, nearly killing him. I'm pretty sure that carries a maximum penalty of life in jail. And this is a prime example of why I can't figure out if this film is meant to be bad, or if it's just, you know, unintentionally terrible, because it's got some scenes which are obviously supposed to be bad, but then it's got these super serious scenes where this kid's bleeding and dying after a car crash.
Oh, my ass!
Where are you going with this movie? What sort of style are you leaning to? Satire, or are you trying to be a good film? I just don't know. So after some more incest, we get a bombshell when June says she killed someone when she was 9 years old in a competition.
My opponent, a 9-year-old little boy, died right in front of me.
This is all done to help make Danny fight again. I don't know, because at the start, remember, he almost killed that man, apparently, and he's all shaken up by it. But honestly, it's just so fucking stupid, this whole thing.
Then my father taught me the most important lesson of my life.
Don't kill children. Right, so then we see Kyle carrying some files from June's boyfriend. Do you remember the lawyer? I certainly don't. But apparently he works for him. I don't know why or how he got a job with him, but he just does now.
Do I become world thrash board champ? Or do I help my friends?
That doesn't make any sense. He's literally never spoken to the people from the dojo. He's always been on the outside, but we've never seen him once speak to them. He isn't their friend. They try their hardest to make everything link, even if they just do it with no context whatsoever. So the final battle finally happens.
Come a long way, Stan. I know you can do it.
No, he hasn't. He literally hasn't trained once, and I know that because he wasn't in the only 10-second training montage of this film. I mean, the whole final scene is basically Tarbak cheating by distracting the fighters, having an expert fight in the beginner's class, having a male fight in the female class.
Tarbek, Trek's a guy.
Equal rights.
Check the rules.
Faking injuries and pointing at his own balls. One of them even admits to cheating.
I won.
He did.
But I cheated.
Although one part really does confuse me. Basically, Danny comes back last minute to fight, obviously, because he has to. The bullies in this film, the bully he's supposed to be fighting, isn't a very well established character. I mean, he's there, but we know who he is. And then they replace him with some random dude we've never met before. You can't just add ominous music and it makes it okay. You can't just keep adding characters we've never met before. And also, this guy's voice switches from his own voice to a clearly dubbed voice, which isn't his.
You going home in a stretcher, little man. Look at you.
Obviously they win, because they have to, but the real kicker comes at the end, when this film does like 100 reveals of things that had never been established. So basically, do you remember that 10-second story June told, when she accidentally killed someone when she was 9 years old? Well, it turns out that that was the son of this shady banker man with 5 minutes of screen time, and that was his motivation all along, and why he wanted to shut her down. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? I mean, they never establish it. Well, they do, but they show this. How am I supposed to know? The photos are the other way around. I can't see them. In this context, all she's doing is grinning, going,
I killed him.
So they put the past behind them, and we think it's going to be okay, until her lawyer boyfriend turns up and says he was working with Tarbek the whole time to give ownership of June's dojo to him. But before he could do that, the banker man changed his mind, and to prove that the boyfriend lawyer's in the wrong, Kyle shows up with the documents he was carrying half an hour ago and says, oh look, he's in the wrong, so he's going to prison now. How am I supposed to know any of this? It's all done off screen and it's never mentioned. I mean, twists you never see coming, but you have to establish them somehow. So the film peaks when Tarbek grabs a machine gun, which she apparently stashed away, and starts firing it, creating a hostage situation. How on earth did he get a machine gun into a kickboxing tournament? What is this movie? He then gets beaten by Jason, who they let go near him. They let the 10-year-old child stop the mentally unstable war veteran with a machine gun. But he stops him, but not before his gun goes from an M16 to a Tech 9 in the same scene. Surely that's deliberate. And that brings me to the final verdict of this film. It's the worst film I've ever seen, but it's the best so bad it's good film I've ever seen in my life as well. I can't figure out if the jokes were done on purpose, or if they were simply because the production quality was hot garbage. And then they round off the film with this.
Oh, we did it, gang. I think this one's for the record books.
Oh, we did it, gang. This one's for the record books. Obviously, the mentally unstable war veteran of a sensei grabbed a machine gun and took 50 people hostage. How could that not be for the record books? And it's not a good moment. They say it so happily. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. While I ponder on what I've just watched, I don't have a clue.